One more guy on defense we got to give props to. Chase Lucas. He had almost the game-winning interception. He broke up a pass on fourth down. I'm not sure that Upton Stout would have made that play. After the game, we talked about to Chase Lucas at his locker, and he was like, look, Robert Saleh and Daniel Bullock's put together like a tendency tape. This is what this offense does. And he basically said every time Drake London lined up in the slot, he ran an option route. So when they motioned London in the slot on that final play, Chase Lucas understood that they were targeting him. They didn't respect him. They've been going after Darrell Luter Jr. He'd improved a little bit, and they thought, let's test this backup nickel with the game on the line. I guess they didn't watch the preseason. I guess they don't know who Chase Lucas is, because not only is he good, but he's prepared. I think that's what you're seeing. If you're a professional athlete, a real pro, and you do your homework, Robert Saleh is going to make you look a genius. Why is Fred Warner always in the right place at the right time? Because Robert Saleh. For the same reason that Chase Lucas was at the right place at the right time with the game on the line. Because Robert Saleh and Daniel Bullocks are really freaking good. Shout out to Daniel Bullocks, too. He's been on this staff since 2017. You may not even know who he is. He started off as the assistant defensive backs coach. Now he's like the pass game coordinator on defense. And if Saleh leaves next year, which it looks like he could, Bullocks might replace him. Anyway, it was nice to see Chase Lucas make the play. It was nice to hear him explain how he made the play afterward. Like, look, he felt like he was essentially cheating. Like, I knew what was coming. Robert Saleh told me it's an option route. I knew he was going to break to the outside. I was breaking before he broke, and the ball went through his hands. He needs to be a starter on this team. And afterward, he said that he's studying nickelback, but also cornerback and safety. So he's prepared to play any position in the secondary. They need him at corner. Or they could just say that they could give Upton Stout like a soft benching. You know, like don't bench him, but say that his ankle hurts indefinitely. And just keep playing Chase. Because Upton Stout's good, but I'm not sure that he's better than Chase. In fact, he's not better than Chase. Chase is a veteran. Chase is more prepared. Maybe he's not the athlete that Upton Stout is, but he's 3 inches taller than Upton Stout. He's really good in coverage. He was in on the game-winning play against the Rams, and he was in on the game-winning play against the Falcons. He's one of their better players. And I love this about the 49ers. There's a lot of roster politics on this team because the coaches draft and pick the players. So when they take a guy like Upton Stout in round 3, they're, inclined to play him because they don't want to be wrong about the players they picked. But every year, there's a guy like Chase Lucas who's just been on the practice squad, who just happened to improve and wasn't anointed, wasn't ever expected to be in this position, but just forces his way into it. And I think he came so close in preseason. It was interesting. I mean, he was great in preseason. Upton Stout didn't do anything. Was out the whole time. And they gave the job to Upton Stout just because they like him, because they drafted him. And he's had good moments. But he didn't earn the job. Chase did. And now he got to play an entire regular season game. He got to be one of the heroes again. And now I think it's not even it's not really up to the Niners anymore. Like, he's the nickelback. Prize Picks will give you $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. Win or lose, you'll get $50 for playing. Use promo code Cohn, COHN, and download the app now. That's sports. Sorry, Upton. Sorry, Robert. Sorry, Kyle. It's Chase now until, further notice. So congratulations to Chase. He freaking deserved it. Earned it. JT Ray says, hey, just joined. Got you. Richard Evangelista says, which of the Niners are a dark horse to win it after this win? I would say so because they're still a work in progress. They don't even have an identity yet. They still have players coming back from injury. Like George Kittle didn't catch a pass in this game, and he will next week. Cosmo says Huff did awesome, but they still need a pass rusher. Sure. Michael Alaniz says, I feel like I pronounce your last name differently every time. Michael A says, kind of weird timing. Niners would dump Purdy news in the middle of the game when no one's paying attention. No timetable. I'm going to talk about that later. Hold on. Hang tight. Yikes. says, should Brock start next week if healthy? Should Brock start if healthy? Yeah, he's the starting quarterback. You can't bench him in that contract just yet, but he's not healthy, and that's the thing. Dazza says, doesn't the effect of Kittle on the run game show even more how important it is to invest in the offensive line? Yes, it does. We'll talk about Kittle in a minute. Thomas Dela Cruz says, return of the Mac. Yes, it is. Return of the Mac. Sing it, Grant. That's the new Fernando. Return of the Mac. That is. Once again, top of the world. I like the little ad-libs in that song. Michael Valencia says, foot-to-throat mentality. Schedule softens a bit, and Kyle is going to be able to build this offense to win in the playoffs. Salah we trust. Andrew Powell says, still think Brock is better at his job than Kyle. Why you got to bring up old shit that I said? Why you got to bring up old shit? We're over here talking about the Niners winning, and you got to, man, no, I guess I don't. Dazza says, if Bethune is that good, what about Nick Martin? Here's what I think. I'm never questioning the Niners on linebackers. End of story. No one coaches linebackers better than the Niners. So when they said, we believe in Tatum Bethune, he's a good middle linebacker, they were right. And I had every reason to believe him. When they're telling you that Nick Martin isn't good. You know how they're telling you that? By not playing him. They won't even play him on special teams. They won't even play him ahead of Curtis Robinson. So I'm not watching that portion of practice as close to the media. They're telling you he's not good. Maybe he'll be good next week. But right now, he's probably one of the worst players in the team, according to them. That's what I'm gathering. Roy Cazares says, does this win mean Niners should still trade for an elite pass rusher? Sure. Absolutely, if they can get one. But, I mean, they just held a good offense to 10 points. They could trade for something else, like an elite offensive lineman. Ivan Quezada says, could D'Amico do what Salah's doing with his team? I don't know. I always got the sense that Robert Salah's blitzes and pressure schemes were better than D'Amico's. D'Amico's very good, though. I mean, his players really play for him, but they play for Salah too. So they're both great. I tend to think that Salah's better. SS Purewall says, Kittle said Mac protects the ball. Shot at Brock? Maybe. Josh B says, dedicate a segment to Eddie P, 17-17 on field goals. I could. I should. All right, maybe I will. He's been great. J. Figs Ramon says, Los Niners was fun to see defense effort tonight. Philip Chavez says, let's go, Niners. Keep telling the truth, Grant. Harvey Dent says, what's your take on Fred's possible return? Pie in the sky. And right now it's Tatum's defense. Fernando Alvarez says, do you have Connor Colby with +1 reception next game? Also, Jake Brendel, who? Seven Dennis says 81 on special teams was an ass kicker. Malik Turner, shout out to you. Thought it was Terrell Owens out there. Harvey Dent says Mac knows something we don't know because after every game he says can't wait to do it again next week. Toughest game left is the Colts. He does keep saying that, doesn't he?